Hermann Goering was born on January 12, 1893, in Rosenheim, Bavaria, now Germany. He died on October 15, 1946, in Nuremberg, Germany. For a time, Hermann Goering held power in Germany second only to that of Adolf Hitler. He carried out Hitler's totalitarian policies by founding the Gestapo, sponsoring the first concentration camps, and sending his Luftwaffe Air Corps to bomb Europe. After the war, he was tried by the Nuremberg Tribunal and sentenced to death, but escaped execution by committing suicide.
In 1946, at the Nazi War Crimes Tribunal at Nuremberg, Hermann Goering was among those tried for monstrous offenses against humanity. Goering was Hitler's second-in-command in the Third Reich and was once expected to be his successor. From founding and serving as the head of Germany's Air Force to authorizing Hitler's purges against undesirables, Goering enjoyed over a decade of almost absolute power. A popular figure, he was considered more accessible than his superior Adolf Hitler. Goering helped develop the dreaded Gestapo and created the first concentration camps to carry out Hitler's final solution: the wholesale murder of Jews and anyone else who they saw as undesirable. More than 10 million innocent people suffered and died. Goering had been a respected World War I fighter pilot, but morphine addiction, love of power, and a lifestyle of excess reduced him to little more than Hitler's lapdog. It would not be long until his reckless miscalculations would earn him the contempt of his Führer. Representatives from France and Great Britain met in Munich to concede part of Czechoslovakia to Hitler in the name of peace. Needless to say, Nazi leaders broke this peace pact almost immediately. Goering's Air Force began blasting Europe to ruins. As he turned his Luftwaffe Air Corps on Britain, Goering was certain he could not fail. But he had not reckoned with the courage, tenacity, and technical skill of the modern Royal Air Force. Technological research was not his strong point, and eventually Germany's outdated equipment also failed to subdue Russia and even to defend the fatherland itself. Hitler was not pleased. Due in part to Goering's incompetence, the tide of war turned. By 1945, the Allied powers had left Germany in ruins. Utterly disgraced, Goering was arrested by Hitler and then fell into the hands of the Americans. He was returned to Nuremberg to stand trial for mass murder. Cleansed of his drug addiction while in prison, he was sharper and more articulate at his trial than when he had wielded his greatest power. Still, he and 10 others were sentenced to death. Unable to face the shame of execution by hanging, he took his own life with a poison capsule. The case against Hermann Goering was finally closed.
Hermann Goering, Biographical Notes. Goering entered the Army in 1914 as an infantry lieutenant, then transferred to the Air Force, where he won fame as a World War I flying ace. He took part in the Munich beer hall Putsch, in which he was seriously wounded and forced to flee from Germany for 4 years. During the Nazi reign, he founded the Gestapo and began the first concentration camps. He was commander-in-chief of the German Luftwaffe Air Corps, which, in the early years of World War II, brought much of Europe to its knees. He was Hitler's second-in-command and expected to succeed him. At the Nuremberg trials, he was found guilty of conspiracy to wage war, crimes against peace, war crimes, and crimes against humanity.